this movie can be really awkward depending on who you go to see it with. So, just fair warning. Stars at Noon was directed by Claire Denis, and it stars Margaret Qualley and Joe Alwyn. This movie tells the story of a reporter who goes to a foreign country. She meets a man in a bar that she thinks is rather interesting. They decide to get together and decide maybe they should meet more often. But soon, more sinister things begin to appear along the way with their extremely passionate romance. To be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't even aware this film was out. I hadn't seen a lot of publicity for it. I think I saw like a bit of a trailer for it at one point, but that was it. So I was just kind of waiting because I've got other films that are coming out, but there's kind of like that dead time right now between those movies. So I found out this was at a theater near me. I went to go see it, and it's for a film that I would consider to be somewhat in the same ballpark as films like maybe Basic Instinct, not that graphic, going wrong, not that bad, but still that kind of quote-unquote erotic thriller. It's pretty interesting, and it does a pretty solid job along the way of managing to actually be compelling as a story beyond just having a lot of, showy, hot, steamy scenes in it. There's a genuinely interesting plot that does keep you intrigued. It kind of begins to follow, certain points that we see a lot, and I don't think it turns out to be anything as fascinating or as amazing as it could have been, but it kept me entertained, it kept me hooked. The performances, I think, were really good because they're a little understated, and I like that. It's not big, flashy, booming in your face. Even the scenes where they are more like they even highlight in the trailers, the more steamy scenes, more passionate ones, are done with more restraint than I thought they would do it with. It's an interesting film. It's got some things in there that are really nice. Robert Pattinson has a character in here, which I really like. And I do love this idea of someone just trying to live their life, and along the way something else begins to happen. And then the way they decide to react to that is a little different in this movie. It was a little interesting and intriguing. There's just a lot of this film that I sat down, watched, and was like, that's kind of different. You're at least trying to take this in a different direction than I normally see. It doesn't mean this is a film that I'm going to go buy or watch again and again. It just means I was pretty much invested in the movie while watching it, which is pretty much all you can ask for. Because you're not going to every movie ever expecting to go watch it 300 more times. You're just going to be entertained, and I can say for the most part, it's entertained. The issue with it is, beyond the great chemistry between the two leads, some really good dialogue, and some surprisingly effective characters on the side, there's not much to hold up the film, and after a while it can get to be tedious and just continue to keep going, and just perpetually things happen. But I'm not sure if you're always necessarily caring or paying attention. It seems like the movie has certain things it wants to do, but knows it has to do other things for those things to happen. So the things that they're doing over here on the side are compelled of them, and you can tell there's not a lot of heart put into it. But then there's this part where they really tried. So the film's like on and off. The tone also shifts quite a bit, struggles a little bit with that. But the direction is really good in here. It has a nice feel to it of kind of feeling like those 90s movies that would come out. They're trying to call back to Hitchcock or something. And there's a real feeling of that in here too. I got a little Hitchcockian. If you've seen a lot of Hitchcock films, you can see some references to actually some of his lesser films in here that aren't considered some of his classics. And it was just something to admire, that there was respect for old. And it's not trying to be anything huge. It's trying to just be a movie. And I like that. I enjoyed the majority of this film, minus the flaws I have with it. Would I recommend it? I'd say it's up to you. If this is your kind of thing, go see it. If not, you're not missing out on much. You'll have a good time either way. So this is something I'm going to leave up to you guys. I'm going to give Stars at Noon a 5 out of 10. So thank you guys always so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see y'all next time.